Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're all doing well today. I apologize in advance if you can hear my computer screaming at me, just because it's a very old computer and the slightest bit of CPU being used makes it want to yell at me. But anyways, I noticed that last week I had hit 100 subscribers, and since then I seem to have gained like 30 more since that. So that's really, really cool. But I did want to thank you guys just for that support and continued support over the last, how long have I had this channel? Like 5 or 6 months now. And I honestly, when I made the channel, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think I was going to like be huge or anything like that. But what I did want to do was do something that I enjoyed doing, putting it on camera for you guys to see. I'm going to talk a little bit about like the origins of the channel and kind of where I'm going to go with it. And I hope you guys stay, first of all. But second of all, I hope you guys at least get a good glimpse into like my thought process and the way I think and things like that. So I'm originally from San Jose, California. I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio to pursue my dreams and start my new career. And with that came a lot of changes. And one of the biggest changes for me was actually buying Dead Cells for the Nintendo Switch when it came out. So I've been there since the 1.0 days. I didn't do early access because I didn't have Steam at the time. I didn't even know what Steam was. I'm not much of a gamer, honestly. I like to play video games, but I more kind of constricted myself at the time to more like sports games and things like that. So like NHL, I think the game was NHL 19 at the time, so I was more on that, and like your NBA 2Ks and not Madden as much, but MLB The Show, and occasionally like I play like your Smash Brothers and things like that. But I bought Dead Cells because it like looked cool, and I thought, okay, like here's some guy that's beating the shit out of enemies with a frying pan. Like obviously I want that. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and so I bought this game, right? And I was like, holy crap, this is hard, but it's so much fun. And when I was playing, they had the Dead Cells subreddit, r/Dead Cells, and I went on there. And I was like, how the hell do I play this game? This is back in like September to October 2018. Like I still hadn't beaten 0BC yet because this is back when 0BC was incredibly hard. Think of 0BC back in the 1.0 days as the one boss cell to now. That's basically how it was. And I was like, man, I don't know how to play this game. I can't beat Hand of the King. I lost like 6 times at Hand of the King. And they were just like, just keep going and you're eventually going to do it. And so I did it for the first time on the Switch, and I was so excited. I was like yelling in my apartment. I was so hype, and that told me like this game is just, I'm obsessed with it. So I just started running through the rings. 1 boss cell, beat it in a few weeks. 2 boss cell took me about a month and a half. Beat that. 3 boss cell, 4 boss cell. I eventually beat 4 boss cell by about November to December 2018. And this was like I'd already adopted the game on the PS4 by then, so I do have it on 3 platforms: Switch, PS4, and Steam. And so I had gotten pretty good at the game. I was uploading certain clips and stuff like that to Reddit, but nothing big, just more like a random hobby that I would have. The work I do is a little intense, so coming home, playing Dead Cells, uploading whatever fight that I want from my PS4 up onto YouTube. Like some of my first videos were of my PS4 footage. I'd upload it to Reddit, talk about it, whatever. Wasn't a big deal. 1.1 came out, and I didn't like 1.1 at all because I just thought some of the mechanics were weird. I thought the damage was a little bit too much. I didn't like some of the changes they had. Part of it is also me because I relied on that ice bow so much. And for those of you who were around for the 1.0 days, know that ice bow was like the most overpowered thing in the entire game. Like it was absolutely ridiculous. And so I didn't like it. But 1.2 came out, and I saw V.me, the streamer V.me. He also has a YouTube channel. Highly recommend that you subscribe to him. He's almost at 3,000 subscribers, so highly recommend his stuff. But I saw him playing Rise of the Giant, the DLC. This was back in the alpha stages. I was like, man, I really want to get in on this. And then 1.2 was released. And then I was like, okay, is this going to be released for consoles? From the time that 1.2 was released on Steam to the time that it was out on consoles, it was like 3 months or something like that. And I was like, I can't wait to do this. Like, this looks so freaking cool. And it looks like they adjusted so much of the stuff. Like, the economy back in 1.1 was really bad, too. That was another reason I didn't like it. But then I saw 1.2, and I was like, oh, that looks so freaking good. So I'm like, okay, let's just buy it. Like, I have a really old laptop. I used it in like my undergrad days, and I graduated from college in 2014. I had this laptop from like 2011 or 2012 onwards. I just never used it because I had a different laptop that I thought that was better at the time. So I started playing this game, Dead Cells, on Steam, and I had to work my way back up from 0BC to 4BC, and it was about me like learning this game again. And it was the same sort of issues, right? 0 boss cell was fine. 1 boss cell had some issues, but I got through. 2 boss cell, I was on it for a solid ass month and a half, and that was just like, oh my god, like this game is so difficult because I would die a lot to Curse, and Curse was like the bane of my existence. This is back when Curse chest was like everywhere. But eventually, I got up to 4 boss cell. I beat the giant, get the 5th boss cell, and then I die a couple times to the 5BC boss, the final boss. And then I finally get my win. And then I'm like, okay, now we're set. Now we can start really like playing this game to its full potential. And then eventually 1.3 came out. I got really, really into it. And around the end of 1.3 to the beginning of 1.4, I was just like, look, I'm not that bad at this game. I'm pretty good. Why don't I just start recording footage and put it up on YouTube? So I started doing like some stuff on Twitch at the time as well. I don't like streaming much just because I have weird habits that I do while I'm playing the game. I drink a lot of water. I don't drink alcohol, but I drink a lot of water and whatever drinks that I have. And I'm a little bit like, I move around a lot. I shuffle around a lot. It's part of my ADHD. So I tend to not be fully concentrated when I'm playing the game. So I don't want to stream and then have to adjust everything. So I just don't. I don't bother. And so towards the end of 1.3, I was like, okay, why don't I just record some footage of me playing the whole game, upload it onto YouTube, see what happens. And it went by fine. And then I was like, okay, one of the things I like to do is teach. I'm not a teacher. That is something that I would like to do at some point in my life, but I am not a teacher. But I do like educating people, and I do like talking about things. Like even on the Dead Cells subreddit, I would always talk to newer players about how to get good, because I've struggled on many different platforms of this game in different iterations. So I understand what it's like to struggle in this game. So if I can provide that educational component to like something that's kind of like trivial, but also something that's like really, really fun, then I'm like, okay, let's just go ahead and do it. So I did my first ever commentary. I cannot remember for the life of me what kind of run it was. I think it was like a Hayabusa Gauntlets or something like that. And so I did it, and it was a full run. It was like 2 hours. And I had a good time doing it. I really, really had a good time doing it. Got some good feedback on it. And I was like, okay, so let's just keep doing this. I had a MacBook at the time, and I would record just using like the MacBook's microphone, it's good considering that it's its own laptop, but the quality is not that great. If you go back and watch some of my old full runs with the commentary over it, you're going to notice that some of the quality of the audio is not as good as it is now. And it's not amazing now, but back then it was horrible. So I just kept doing that, and then eventually got to a point where I uploaded a Wrenching Whips Tactics run. And at this point, my Mac had broke, so I had to go buy a cheap Lenovo laptop for like $400. This was back in, I want to say, September-ish. Basically, I was really sick one night, got delirious, and then I knocked over a glass of water on my MacBook. And unfortunately, the MacBook was a gift, and that didn't have the warranty on it. So very unfortunate, but I couldn't get my MacBook back, so I had to cheap out, get another laptop. And I couldn't really play video games on it because some of the stuff that I've played Dead Cells on it, there's a lot of frame rate issues, so I couldn't really use it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stick with this laptop, and for the recording, I'm just going to use this Lenovo laptop. And the quality of the audio was just so bad. So I had to kind of think about, okay, what do I want to do here? Because this clearly is not working out. I'm not getting good reception on my videos. My channel's not really growing at all. I'm completely wasting my time here. So one day I decided to buy, around New Year's this year, I decided to buy a Blue Snowball. And again, like I'm a student, so I don't have as much money as you might think I do, which is probably not a lot to begin with. So I bought a Blue Snowball, about $60 from Best Buy. And I was like, I've done a tier list before. Let's do another tier list for 1.6 because it's been about 2 months, so why not? Let's do it. I know more about the game now. I've gotten way, way, way better. I have an understanding of the meta, at least somewhat of an understanding. I would like to think, there's still stuff that, I don't do that other people do that I can always learn from them. But let's just put this out. Let's go for it. And my highest viewing video was the Melee tier list. Has somewhere around 1.5 thousand views, which is way more than what I usually get. It's like 8 to 9 times more than what I get on my current videos. And that's really what allowed my channel to grow and give me some confidence in this. Got a lot of good feedback on that too, and people were suggesting different weapons that were like too low on that tier list. So I was like, okay, let's experiment with those. So the Rapier run, the Impaler run, those were like, okay, like I can really learn a lot from the community. That's when I started doing more of like the clip type of videos as well, because I was like, I don't have the energy or time to look at a full ass run and spend like 3-4 hours on the commentary. I just don't have that type of time. Like I've got school, I got a couple jobs, I got an internship. Like I don't have that sort of time. So I was like, let's just clip it and then do commentary for about 15 minutes or so, and then we're fine. Eventually the clipped videos ended up being half an hour, and I was like, okay, like we got to figure this out. But I'll talk about that in a second. So the tier list really allowed my channel to start growing, and then that's what allowed me to start getting understanding of the meta much better. And then I started moving on to more gimmicky type of builds. So some of you saw my squad goals run with the owl, with the mushroom boy, and the blowgun. So that was kind of an example of that. Another one was the all blood build. So it was like every blood item possible plus the bloodlust modification thingy modifier. I think that's what it's called. And another one was like the swarm build. So just like a bunch of like swarm grenades, little biters, cute little biters running around and just getting my kills for me. So that was essentially like, I did a few runs like that, got some good feedback again. And then I started noticing people in the comments. It was like the same people in the comments, which was really good because that was like that engagement process. I could really have that conversation with them and be like, hey, like, what do I need to work on my channel? What do you want to see? Things like that. So now I started getting more and more input from people. And, that's something I continue to this day. Like, I really want people to let me know what they think unfiltered. Like, obviously, like, don't be a dick. But, like, at the same time, you can tell me if there's something that you didn't like in the video. Like on my most recent upload, which was like my mutations tier list, other people were suggesting, hey, like I think this might be too low, or I think this might be too high. Can you respond to me? Can you think about it? And I'm more than happy to, because like even if I don't agree with you, just that conversation I think is really good for the both of us. Just because I get more of an understanding, you get more of an understanding. It's mutual. I'm not perfect, and I think it's, yes, I have this channel, but I'm just a regular ass person. So, who am I to say that you can't use something, right? So that's why I always encourage people in the comments to like leave what they think. So that tier list really allowed me to do it. And then, around the same time, I started doing those clipped runs. And the reason was, like I said earlier, I just didn't have the time or energy to do it. But it's funny, the way it started was I'd been streaming the night before on Twitch, and I had left my microphone on. So when I was playing the game, I had a Poke Aim and Blunder video on my other laptop because I like to have YouTube on in the background while I play, or music or whatever. And I was like, oh crap, I cannot commentate over this. And then at the same time, I was just like kind of stressed from school because finals were coming up. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Let's just mute all the audio. Let's clip this into about 15 minutes or so, and let's talk about it. And that was my Assassin's build run. The how do you say it? Omae wo Shinderu? Something like that. I completely butchered it. I apologize. But that run got me about 800 or so views, at least right now. But at the time, like, that was my highest view at that point. And I was like, okay, this clip stuff works, because everybody else is doing full runs, and I watch all those guys too. I think they do a fantastic job, but that's what they're good at. I'm not that good at doing the full runs because I just don't have that concentration. Like people like Doc Firebird, like I completely respect him for being able to put out these hour-and-a-half long videos multiple times a week. Like I respect the hell out of that, because for me, I know I can't do that. But with these clipped ones, even with these clipped ones, I can barely only do 1 or 2 at the week at most. Anybody that does like these full runs or streams on Twitch multiple times a week, like total shout out to you, because I cannot do that. But for me, like I enjoy doing these clip runs because it also just like, for me, like when I go back and watch them, it's more entertaining to me to watch my own content like that. Whereas someone else who's able to talk for that whole hour and a half, I can be invested in it. But for me, like I'm much more better at talking like in short little bursts here and there, and I can take breaks in between rather than like I'll commentate for 20 minutes, leave a big break where I don't talk at all for 10 minutes, and then that's not interesting. So I like the clipped versions of what I do a lot. So to address a couple things that I've had asked to me before. So what do I clip specifically? So there are certain things that I'm always gonna clip, or that you'll have like the full like unfiltered stuff in it, and that's the boss fights. That's gonna be the curse chest, like the entire curse I'm gonna have on there, even if it's just like me not doing anything for like a solid minute because I have to go find a teleporter and then go back and then do all this other stuff. I'm gonna show you guys all that stuff because it's very easy to like cheat that sort of thing, and it's easy to cheat in Dead Cells. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, for me, that doesn't really make the game fun anyways. So I'm not gonna upload a run that I don't like anyways. So why would I like cheat the game in order to just upload a run that I don't even like? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I show the full thing for those. Anything interesting like crazy mobs, I'll always show. Certain elite fights that I think are noticeable. Certain drops that I think are noticeable, like item drops, blueprint drops, amulet drops. I think those are noticeable too. Things that like give a lot of context to the run. I think those are really valuable. I know I had a suggestion once that because I do custom mode a lot, someone asked me in custom mode to basically show like all the stuff in the custom mode, like what I'm unlocking and things like that. I did that once. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. And here's why. It's because it's going to be the same thing every single time. So for brutality, survival, and tactics, all the skills are unlocked. No exceptions. Sometimes I have tonic unlocked. Sometimes I don't. I'm getting away from doing that because I feel like, and because like I don't even use it that much anymore. But like when I was early recording, I always had it on, and these days I don't have it on as much. And if it's on, it's purely by accident. I don't really use it anyways. I'm much more comfortable just using health flask and then just getting one later on because there's lots of opportunities for health flask too. So just things like that. My recording process is more of like, I got this blue snowball. So after I'm done with the run, I'll take a couple days, not really deal with it, or maybe a day or so, depending on when I'm free. Usually I'm free like Thursday nights onwards, because I overload everything during Monday to Thursday. And so Thursday night, I'm free for the next 3 days. That's how I intended to do it. I work on Fridays now, but whatever. So I'll upload it to Google Drive, get it on my better laptop, clip the footage, put it into OpenShot Editor. I'm looking for a better video editor, but I don't know how to edit. I'm not good with transitions and things like that. Along some way, I found a really cool instrumental for the song In the Dark for Bring Me to the Horizon. It was like a fan-made thing, and I really liked it. So I asked the guy if I can use that, hit him up, DM'd him on Instagram, and he was like, yeah, dude, hell yeah, go for it. I'm going to still use that, but I'm going to also use one of my friends. He's a rapper. I want to get his name out there too. His name is Buddha408. So he had a song that I really like. So I started using that a couple videos ago for my blowpipe strategy guide. So I started implementing different things, and then I started doing some of the more custom thumbnails, which I really enjoyed, just because I really like art. I'm not the best drawer in the world, but I do like to sketch. I do like drawing. I know the people that I work with, I like stressing the importance of like kind of that putting your thoughts on paper, things like that. So in terms of art, I am a big fan of it. So I was like, okay, making these thumbnails should be fun. I got to make them a little clickbaity for the algorithm or whatever the hell. And that's also worked. But I also had fun doing it. Like I can come up with kind of creative ideas on like how to really grab the viewer's attention, and it's fun. I enjoy it a lot. So that is like my entire channel in a nutshell. And there's an element of like, hey, like I'm still like someone who has to deal with a lot of anxiety and a lot of like, issues around recording. I get very nervous when I upload something because I'm like, is everybody going to hate this? What I try to tell myself is like, look, like, I don't know any of you guys, and the worst thing someone's going to tell me is like, your video sucks. And if it sucks, I can ask them why. And then if they tell me why, I can work on that. And if not, then I just move on. And it sucks. Or if I like get a bunch of dislikes on a video, like, it sucks, but what can I do at the end of the day? And I keep trying to tell myself that every single time I upload something. Like, if I don't get a good reception, how can I make it better? And it's like a never ending process. You're always looking for ways to make your stuff better. In terms of where I'm taking this channel, I'm gonna probably step away from doing like the clipped runs for a while, because something I noticed was the clipped runs were getting really long. The first few, like the first 5 or 6, were only about like 15 minutes or so, and I think that's easily digestible. But the last few were like 25, 26, 27 minutes long, and I'm pretty much getting to the point where I might as well just commentate full runs again, and I'm not getting back to that. I just do not have the energy to commentate full runs. If there's a full run that, like, without any breaks, and if I play this game for like the full hour and a half that I'm playing this game, and there's no breaks in between, and if I can upload that full run, but I'm not going to commentate over it. But in the title, you'll see that, okay, there's no commentary on this. But otherwise, like, I don't see the point for me to do it because I'm not good at that. So I'm going to get away from the clipped runs for a little bit just because I want to explore more with the channel. I was talking to one of my regular viewers on Reddit about it. We were DMing back and forth about like, where do I want to take this channel, and someone else from was DMing me on Discord. I also got a Discord now, and me and him were talking about like, how can I improve this channel, and one of the big things was having a variety of videos. Like, I can't keep uploading tier lists and clipped runs. So that's why my blowgun run was like such a departure, like how to use a weapon. Like, it's easier for me to like show off how crazy a build is, and stuff like that. But that's not really me telling you like, this is the best way to use a weapon. This is how you can use a weapon. This is one way to use a weapon. Instead, that's just me saying, oh, this is just what you do. This is just the run. Enjoy the run. I can still do that. But I would rather show you guys the strengths and weaknesses of a weapon in play. That's why I enjoyed making that blowgun video. Obviously, I'm not the best editor in the world, so that was kind of difficult to do. But the next one I want to do is a rhythm and bazooki run. That's going to be basically talking about what works well with it, what doesn't work well with it, and how I think this excels, and how you can maximize it too. You're going to do the same thing with the scythe, and then I'm going to do one with the Spartan Sandals, because I had a pretty great 5BC Spartan Sandals run. I think things like that are stuff that like I enjoy doing personally, because again, it just goes back to that education portion. I love education. I love talking about things. I love to teach. My true passion in life is teaching, and those strategy guides will allow me to do that. I also want to get into more talking about mental health and things like that. I can talk about it from a personal perspective. I can also talk about it from like a more general type of perspective. It's something I'm very, very passionate about. I'm going to wait a while before doing that. I wouldn't anticipate anything in the next few months, just because I don't feel ready to talk about that on such a big scale yet. But that is kind of where I want to push the channel a little bit. I'm still going to do the Dead Cells regularly, but I'm going to be doing other stuff. I started doing some Slay the Spire that I started putting on this channel. I put a Hades thing up there. Hades, for me, it's a good game, but I don't like it as much as Slay the Spire and Dead Cells, so I probably won't be doing much of that. I want to get into other games too. Like, I want to get a capture card, put it up on the Switch. I got Ring Fit Adventure the other day. That game is hella fun, and it's tiring as hell. I want you guys to see me struggle in that game. I want you guys to see me miserable. I love it though. It's so fun. I want you guys to see me suck in Super Smash, but like, I want to do other things, because I don't want this channel to be static. I want to make the main focus Dead Cells, but I want to put other things in it too. And I want to talk about things outside of video games, because video games is not my real, like, it's not really what I care about that much at the end of the game. I'm not really much of a gamer. I just really, really like Dead Cells. It's like my self-care for me. I love talking about music. I want to talk about more music. Like, I want to do some like album reviews and things like that. I don't know how to deal with like copyright laws and stuff like that. I'm not sure how that works, so I have to do a little bit of research before I do it. But like, one of my favorite bands, Polaris, just came out with a really kick-ass album today. I loved it. Dance Gavin Dance, another one of my favorite bands, coming out with an album in a couple months. I'm gonna peep that. It's gonna be awesome. Novelist is like a top 5 band for me. They just released an album like a few weeks ago. I think it's pretty gosh dang amazing. Got to keep my language to a minimum, but it's pretty amazing, and I want to talk about it. So those are things that I'm gonna kind of put forth in this channel as time goes on. You know, the whole subscriber thing, I think sometimes, like, for someone with a small channel, it can be a little bit like, like, it can be a little bit defeating at times that I have such a small channel and I have a very small community, and, you know, I don't have really that reach. But there's also times when I'm just like, hey, you know what? I do kind of like this small community because it allows me to just say what's on my mind and be super unfiltered without having to worry about like what others are going to think of me, because I've already talked about my mental health on this channel once. And I thought that went really well because it allowed me to be vulnerable with a small group of people. If it was with a bigger group of people, that may not have worked out as well as it did. So, you know, keeping my group kind of small. That's how I am in real life too. I only have like a few like close friends, and then I have a bunch of acquaintances outside of that I don't really put much stock into. So that's just kind of how I am in my personal life. So I think, you know, I don't need to trip that much about the subscriber count, but 100 is still great. 100 is still awesome. Like, I'm really happy that I hit that. I never saw myself even hitting like 10 subscribers. So getting to 100 is pretty awesome. Like, I put that in perspective after being upset that like I'm not that recognized amongst other Dead Cell streamers and YouTubers. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Like, I'm still going to put out my content regularly. I still enjoy doing it. I still have a good time. It's a hobby for me. It's not a profession. This isn't life or death. It's fun. And I'm glad that you guys enjoy the videos too. That means a lot to me. That means the world to me. You guys are invested in my content. For the 120 something of you that regularly watch my stuff, like that holds a lot of meaning to me. Like, that's very important to me, that something I'm saying is like reaching somebody, whether I'm talking about something trivial like Dead Cells or something serious like mental health. In that mental health video, people were talking about, you know, what they've dealt with, and that was the intention, was that I wanted to open up a conversation about it. So I'm kind of rambling a little bit at this point. I do appreciate you guys staying through. I appreciate you guys' support. Comment what stuff you want to see on this channel. Comment what you think I can improve on. Comment what you think I'm doing well. Comment anything you want. You can even comment about the fact that I'm wearing a Portland Trailblazers hat and I'm a Warriors fan. I've been a Warriors fan since I was a child. I'm not a bandwagon, by the way. Side note, if you want to know what sports teams I follow, diehard Warriors fan, diehard San Jose Sharks fan. I have 3 hockey teams: San Jose Sharks, Dallas Stars, Ottawa Senators. The last 2 are more of like second teams. I'm a diehard San Jose Sharks fan. Like, that's for life. Baseball, I'm a big Toronto Blue Jays fan. I like the Cincinnati Reds mostly because I live here. I'm an Oakland A's fan as well. Football, I don't really have a team. I don't watch that much football. Not like I used to, but I am going to probably be a Bengals fan going forward because I'm going to be in Cincinnati for a while, so I might as well be a Bengals fan. Raiders moved, so I don't really care about them anymore that much. But anyways, so thank you guys again so much. And yeah, have a great night, everybody.